Yay. Welcome, everybody. 2020, our first huddle for the year. Woohoo! Bring it in. Let's manifest some really good stuff. So I think this is a really good way to start our year with some, just celebrating some women, some amazing women in our team who are rocking it. And first of all, I want to spotlight Gail, because Gail, I don't know if you guys remember, but Gail actually won December Partner of the Month. So I'm going to spotlight her. Hang on, we're going to put you on speaker view. My thingy's not, oh, there it is. I can't get used to you being called Tiger, Gail. It's weird. It's weird.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, Gail. So I'm going to put you on the spot, honey, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to ask Gail some questions, you guys go ahead and pop them in the chat, or you can just say, because I haven't got you on mute at this point, I'll just put you on mute if it gets a bit noisy. So, Gail, tell the team, because I don't actually know how much they know, because I don't know if you've actually shared your business story much, but do you just want to tell them why you said yes to this to start with?
I was looking for something extra, and I saw your ad, and I thought this could be interesting, but I was very skeptical and didn't want to commit to anything completely. So it took me about a month to finally agree to try the capsule, which I did, and then another month after that before I decided to become a partner. But everything about business appealed to me. The fact that it's based around body, mind and soul, which most businesses aren't. They're all based around profit. The fact that even after taking the capsules, I started seeing results, which I hadn't before. I had been quite unwell, and that made a difference to me. And then once I started coming along to the trainings and I met all you amazing people, I thought, who wouldn't want to be part of this business? You know, it's just so much.
Yeah.
Well, it's a family. It's a family that picks each other up, helps them along. You know, you get little secret presents or from people from now and again, and you open your door and find a present from somebody else, and it's just that wonderful family community feeling that you don't get in most jobs. And then, of course, it's nice to have that little pay packet that comes in each month that's on top of everything else I earn, and it is nice to know that, hey, if nothing else, I can put that aside, my trip costs, and, you know, I'm going somewhere. I'm doing something.
No, I'm just going to mute somebody.
Ones, or what are these ones? Orange? Have some orange?
Okay, sorry. Yes, I love that. And I just want to add a little bit on that. So Gail is not somebody that you will see, like she doesn't really put herself out there, right? She's not big in the chat like Kieran and Sarah and me and
I'm quiet.
Tammy and yeah, absolutely. But the beautiful thing about you, Gail, is that you are, you beaver away. You keep doing your work. You beaver away, you do what you can. And I know that you've got a full-time job. Something else that most people won't know about you probably is that you are the main income provider in your home, right? Mm-hmm. So if it wasn't for you bringing in the income, then things would be a lot different, right? Yeah. So in terms of that, how is that been a big part of stepping into this business?
Absolutely. Firstly, to also top up our income, but long term to get up the daytime job so that I can be at home with Jim and working together alongside it along the way, rather than going off to work every day and working for somebody else.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing some more muting because I can hear noises in the background. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's better. Okay, so yeah, so I know that it hasn't been easy. I know, in terms of your health, it's been a bit of a journey, right? And I know that you are probably hoping to get more results than what you've got, even though you've already got great results anyway from the product. I know you were hoping for more, right? So for you, around how is it that you manage your health, your job, your marriage, your business?
Well, I mean, I work from 7 till 4, so I'm up at 5:30 in the morning and just get myself ready for work, and I'm off to work. I come home at lunchtime, so I do get away from my day job at lunchtime. So I've always done that because I like to be able to get away from the job, take a bit of time out and then go back. When I get home, it's a good half hour, 3/4 of an hour. I've got my little list of things to do. I just bang those out. Then I can get on with whatever else I'm doing. I try and make sure that I leave the weekends free because that is the one time that Jim and I have got together to do our things. But there's going to be the odd time when we have got an event or I have got a 3-way call or something like that. And Jim's very adaptable. He just says, you do what you have to do. I'll fit around it, no problem. So we're very lucky there. And he is my cheerleader. You know, if I forget to mention anything, we're out shopping or we meet somebody and I forget to say what I'm doing, Jim will just pipe up, oh, by the way, Gail's into this. Would you like her card? So he is the one that often picks me up and says, no, you're not promoting. Oh, I just didn't think about it. You know, that particular conversation, I just didn't think about it, but he does. So he's actually my biggest cheerleader. He's supporting me all the way. And so when I said, hey, I'm going to the conference, he said, good, we're off. So, yeah.
He needs to be, he's really your unofficial team member, isn't he?
He is. But he doesn't like computers. He doesn't like anything like that. He says, give me a card to hand out and talk to people, that's fine, but don't ask me to do anything else. Understanding my computer can be very temperamental, so I can accept that.
We need to find a way to get that man into the business. Honestly, he'd be a great team member for you. He's a good networker, isn't he?
That's why the conference is important.
Yeah, that's
getting
great.
Him along to that, getting him buzzed with that, and then maybe he'll come back and say, hey, sign me up.
Yeah. So tell me, Gail, I know that you've had face down moments.
Yep.
Tell us about those.
When you get too many people saying no, it's too expensive, or I can get things cheaper elsewhere, and you do spend some time trying to explain to them, yes, you can get cheaper things elsewhere, but they're not the same quality, they don't do the same thing, it's all synthetic, it's not necessarily good for you, and you can have a run at that, and you just say, oh, I can't do this. So you switch off for a little while. And I've done that a couple of times, but I've decided this year I'm not going to switch off. It's my year this year. I think last year was building into it, getting to understand the business, getting to understand the product, and feeling more comfortable in talking about it. This year, it's go out there and do it and get the results.
Now, what a perfect time to be doing it too, with all our new amazing plan and program. Yeah. It's just perfect. So, I mean, that was what I was going to ask you, is how do you manage those moments where you feel like, is this worth it?
I usually maybe do a bit of meditation, have a chance to read through the chats, because the Soul Tribe chat is very inspirational. Other people have face down moments too, and everybody's, there cheerleading them on and reminding them, hey, it's not over yet. So I do that. I also have a look at your page, which regularly reminds me, hey, this is the lady that got me into it. Let's keep going. And then I see my sister and how she's doing, and I'm thinking, well, can't give in now. I've got to, and I'm enjoying it. So why would I? But there is the odd day when you think, oh, it's not working, or I'm not feeling as if I'm getting anywhere. But they're not very often. And I think those, the few times that they have happened, I've just taken 48 hours to just switch off with the media and then think, no, back to it tomorrow. And I'm not giving in, because I want to be able to get to a decent place where, as you say, we're walking across the stage as SC or whatever and working my way up. I want to be able to give up full-time work, and I want to be able to do this on my terms. 58 this year, so I don't want to leave it too long.
Yay! I love that, because that was my next question. What does keep you going? So it's that knowing that you can leave your job, right?
Yes.
And what would that leaving your job bring you?
It'll give me peace of mind that I'm not having to pay, do a job for somebody else. That is, I'm just getting a pay packet, going to work, doing my thing, and coming home. It'll be something where I'm passionate about. Where how passionate can you be about complaints all day long? Much that I do enjoy my job, and I do enjoy the company I am currently working for. Long term, I don't want to be there for past the age of 60. I don't want to have to wait till I'm 65 to go on the pension and just survive. I want to be able to get out of that before then and not survive, but actually thrive and do well and continue.
And I love that, and that is what's going to get you there, that commitment, that dedication, that vision, and that motivation to get there. That's what's going to get you there, Gail, because I've got that too. That's massive in me, and that's what's got me to where I am. It's just that I never give up. This is what I want, this is my vision, and this is going to happen. But also what I love is you've said that, and I know for team members who don't have team at this point, you said about how you've got Sarah, and you look at Sarah and you think, and that's what happens when you get team, is you have team and you're like, well, you have these moments where you think, oh, is it all worth it? And then you think, but I've got all this team, I just can't stop now, because what happens if you stop, then they're going to stop. It's like you've stood there and you've said, well, I'm creating a dream. Are you guys coming too? And you've supported them to get there. And then suddenly you're going to walk away and go, well, I don't believe in this dream anymore. And then what's that going to do for them? Oh, it's going to break them, right? So, yeah.
The dream's still very real for me, so I'm not giving it up anytime soon. As I said, I want to retire before I'm 60 and be doing this. So at least I can say to myself, okay, I'm going to do so many hours per day on this, and I'm going to enjoy my retirement. And that's the whole point. I don't want to be one of these people that retire at 65 and is dead by 70 because they have worked too hard to that point. I want to work on my terms.
Absolutely. Amen to that one. And you'll get there. You'll definitely get there because you're already making progress. And the thing with you, because I know, you talked about for most of, all of last year, really, it's all about growing and learning, right? It was about growing and learning. And sometimes it takes a long time. And then, of course, it's about consolidation. So now it's that consolidation time. So it doesn't matter where you are in the business. You're always going to grow as long as you're still working. You're always going to grow. Yeah. So do you have any wisdom that you want to share, Gail? Any kind of moment that you think, any kind of advice that you'd like to give people?
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to go on one of the boot camps, do it, because that was probably, just prior to that, I had a big faith plant moment and I just had lost interest. And just having that constant reminder, I want to see what you've done, was enough to get me started. I'm now doing it without thinking. I mean, even if you didn't ask for it, I would still be doing it because I've set myself up. I know my plan. I know how I'm going to do it. I've even shown Sarah and I said, look, get one of these, do this, write it up a week in advance so that when you get home, you don't have to say, oh, who am I going to friend request? I've already got it. I've got a week's friend request all written out. I know who I'm going to contact. And then I don't have to worry because we do that on a Sunday, go through to the Friday, have Saturday not thinking about it, plan it on Sunday. And that's me. I'm a planner. I like to have things organised and just got it on a weekly planner, file it, go back through it, have a look. Who do I need to love on? Who has replied to my friend request? And I've got there to remind myself all the time. And I think just consistency is the key. Is to set yourself a plan that you know you can keep to and keep doing it. I think when I first did the boot camp, I found it was a little bit overwhelming. It was just too much that I couldn't keep up with. So I set myself a realistic target. And if I can do more than that, then that's great. But at least I don't go below that. And that's my daily target.
And you do. Yeah, and you do. And I just want to say for those who aren't in the DMO Divas group, which is our accountability group for DMO every day, Gail puts her DMO in every single day, right? She is the only one that puts it in every single day, and I never have to ask her. She just does it. So
that's what I do when I come home from work. I've got my list, do it all, photograph it, send it in. I can then then I just follow up, because if people reply to me, then that's fine. But I've done what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And your business is just going to grow from that, honey. It's just going to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. It's been so good having you on. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You worked so bloody hard in December. You really deserved it. So well done.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. So now we're going to, I can see you're feeding yourself, Maxine, but I'm going to spotlight you now, honey. Because we've got our 2019 Partner of the Year, Maxine. Woohoo! We need one of those things, you know. Yeah, so Max, are you muted? Oh, you're unmuted. So I just, yeah, and I know, you know, most people know you and know your story. So I'm not really going to be asking you too much about your story or anything. What I would really like is, and I know that we do really want to be asking you about team, because I know one of the things that Sin said, and Sin's not even on here, was like, oh, we've got to do a training on Maxine and how you've managed to get 10 team members, 10 frontline. Well, you know, I just want to say that Maxine is diligent. Maxine works. Yeah, Maxine likes to take time off, and Maxine does like to procrastinate a little bit, but Maxine is a bloody worker. And, you know, I just, one thing I want to say about you is you're very ethical, you have high integrity, and if you say you're going to do something, you'll bloody well do it. And I think a lot of that has got to do with you building your team too. But I'm going to hand it over to you, because I want you to tell the team how it is that you have grown your team. What has been essential to you? What have been the essentials? Maybe just give us 3 to 5 essential points that has really helped you grow your team.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the first thing I want to say is it did take me a lot of time to get over myself and my fear and actually go out and start looking for team. And I would say to everybody, the sooner you can get over that, the better, because honestly, that is how you're going to make money in this business. It's all very well having customers, but it's team building. That's got to be the reason that we're here. I mean, otherwise it's only ever going to be pocket money. And you know, that's really been one of the most obvious things to me, even when I've had a really poor month with my own customer acquisition, you know, and we all have months like that. I've still got a little team under me, bolstering me, keeping my income at quite an even keel. So that would be my first piece of advice is, you know, I wasn't very good at it in the beginning, and I just wish I'd got over that quicker, because that's really, you know, that's what you need to be doing in this business. That's the main thing. I still feel like I'm really learning. So whatever I'm imparting today is really, I'm still very much in my learning process, still trying to perfect what I'm doing. But I know Sophie Hughes talks a lot about this, and I really think it's absolutely the key is to actually work out what your brand is, what you're about, who your tribe is. That's something that it's taken me a while. I've had a few chops and changes, as everyone's probably noticed. I'll really, you know, and I think, you know, someone like Monica will really understand this. You know, empty nesting is just a really weird time. Like, you've spent 20 years of your life just doing this one thing, you know, really majorly doing this parenting thing. And you kind of, suddenly you don't really have to be doing that all the time. And you're like, who the fuck am I? I don't know. What do I like? What is my tribe? You know, it's really like, I was quite lost for a while, actually. And so I think, but that's the biggest thing, you know, really think about all the things that you really love in your life, the things you like doing, the people, the other kinds of people that like doing that stuff. Your tribe is really going to be someone that's like you. I mean, initially I did sort of go a little bit after the younger crowd, because I felt sorry for how they have to do shitty jobs and get paid minimum wage and but actually, you know, young people that can't be bothered. Most of them can't really be bothered with doing what we're having to do. And so I quickly learned that they weren't my tribe. So I think, you know, at the end of the day, your tribe is someone like you know, really, someone who can look at you and go, yeah, I really, really relate and really resonate. And I must say, the more I've worked on and perfected who am I, what's my tribe, what do I love, you know, the more I'm starting to attract really quality people. Like the people I'm attracting now, they're exact. A lot of them are really who I'm looking for, you know. So I think that's the big one, you know. Just really get really clear on that, and it's not. Sometimes it can take a while, yeah. And the other thing, well, really, I have to admit, I'm not very good at reaching out to my warm market. I can't really train on that because I don't do it very much. But I do advertise in cold markets, and I think that's just the way I like doing it. I like cold markets because you're getting the people that are already looking for what you've got. You don't have to sort of try and convince them. And also, I actually really love the aspect of meeting people that I don't know, you know, like, you know, I've got Linda on my team now. She's awesome. I can't wait to go down and meet her in Nelson because, you know, it's so I actually love that aspect of actually meeting new people, because I think that's another thing for me. As part of the empty nesting, is actually a lot of the people that I used to be real close friends with, they're still doing the kids and the homeschooling and the da-da-da, and I'm kind of not anymore. So I'm sort of needing to almost build a new tribe of friends, you know, and that's another thing I really like about reaching out into cold markets more, as I'm actually sort of doing that. It's really cool. So yeah, is there anything else that you think I should talk about?
Well, it looks like we might have a question. How do you reach
how do you reach out to a cold market? I advertise on Facebook job groups, and some of them don't allow MLMs to advertise, but some of them do. You just have to figure out who they are. And I do have a business page, and I put an ad on my business page, and then when you put an ad on your business page, that kind of goes out into the Facebook job world market, and people see that. And I haven't started getting into boosting my posts yet, but I think that's something I will start doing more of this year. But actually, the other thing I did want to say, and this is a big thing I notice with people, is that, you know, when you're looking to attract your tribe, you have to make sure that your news feed is actually going to do that. And I look at quite a few people's news feeds, and it's really random. It's just they just throw anything into it that kind of they feel like throwing into it. And you want someone to come and, because people will stalk your news feed, right? When you're reaching out, you're talking about the business, they'll want to know who you are. They'll do that by stalking your news feed or your business page. So you want them to be able to go through your news feed and just see what you're doing, your health, you know, your spiritual, your positivity, you know, whatever it is that's your thing that you're doing to attract your tribe. Your whole news feed needs to really reveal that really clearly, and don't put any negative, I would say don't put any negative crap in it, because the one bit of feedback I get, and what I'm noticing with a lot of people that I'm getting through cold markets that don't actually go ahead with the business and sort of say no for whatever reason, they're still staying, a lot of them are still staying friends with me, because I think that, you know, they just kind of, you know, like what they see in my feed and like what I'm talking about. And so that I think that's super important too. Just really, really curate your news feed and make it really, really consistent and really positive.
I think that's a really good point that you made there, Maxine, around when you're in cold markets, because I do both. It's really important to me that I'm covering all my bases and I do everything. But something that I have noticed as well with cold markets is you've got to build a new relationship. And that's the thing with cold markets. They don't know you, they don't trust you, you don't have a rapport with them. So you really are starting again and building a whole new relationship. So often when they first come in, if they feel like there's anything dodgy or that they're a little bit skeptical, then they're going to go a little bit kind of cold on you, and they might actually just stop communicating with you, which is 100% normal, really. Most of them do that. It's very few that keep going. And so if they remain your friend, then you've got an opportunity there to build that rapport over time. So you don't know how long that person is going to take to come back to you. Eventually they may do. So a really good example, and Gail talked about it earlier, is Gail was a cold market. So Gail responded to one of my ads, and she didn't know me, but she loved what I was doing, and she kind of sat on the fence for a little bit, and then she came back and decided to try the product, and then she wanted to, but it was a long game. But at the end of the day, we were building a relationship, we were building that rapport. And so that's a really good point that you made, Maxine, that they stay on your news feed. It's still an opportunity for you to be having a conversation with them, loving on their posts. If you love their posts, of course, because you might not love what they do, and if you don't love what they do, then you don't have to stay friends with them. So that's the other thing about what Maxine was talking about with attracting your tribe. If you don't actually want that person in your team, you don't have to be friends with them. Yeah, so you want to have friends on your friend list with people who you want. You're not just collecting any old friends, you're collecting your tribe, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you do in groups, Tanya, but that's another possibility. It can be a little bit more time consuming, but it's also a really good way of finding your tribe and getting new friends to add into your friends list by being in groups about things that interest you, that are full of people that kind of vibe on the same way that you do. Make friends in groups, and then of course those friends that you've made are going to see what's in your news. So again, we're back to your news feed, really telling your story without you telling it, if you know what I mean. Your news feed has to tell your story, and it has to do it, make it in a really positive, consistent way.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I agree with you, and they do. That's the thing. People will often come back to me from a cold market, and they will say, "Oh, I've just checked out your news feed, and I see it's some kind of wellness thing," or they're asking me questions around it. What is it you do? So if you're creating some kind of curiosity around that too, where you're not just kind of putting it's Dress Plus out there, then they're going to be asking you more and more questions. So it's another opportunity to be able to, build that relationship or build that trust in that relationship. So does anybody have any more questions for Maxine? Is there anything, Max, that else you want to share? Because I know, something that, in fact, I will ask you, something that you said to me recently just over the Christmas New Year break about, having a change of heart again around, changing your brand and feeling like you're kind of over wasting time on that. Do you want to kind of share what you meant by that?
What did I say? I'm trying to think what
you said to me that you feel like you've wasted a lot of time trying to perfect your brand, and you feel like you just need to get going and just do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just me. I'm a little bit, I am a knowledge person. I can get a little bit in my head, and I think I can just try and be too clever sometimes. I do get a little bit hung up on details, but I think it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be you know, you don't have to have it all worked out and be at this level of perfection. And I think it's really easy to look at, and I think I'm guilty of this. You look at the bombshells, you look at the gratitude gang, and you think, God, you know, that's such a beautiful. They're so beautifully branded. They're so on point. All their photos, everything. But a while ago, I actually scrolled back to the beginning of Ange Simpson's Instagram, and I was really amazed. You know, it was just really random. The photo, like, all I'm trying to say is that there was a time when she just threw shit out there and was just learning as she went. You know, it's taken her 7 years to get to this beautifully perfected brand and image. You know, and so I think that's been my lesson as well. Like, just get in and do it, and just perfect as you go.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. That's kind of what I was asking you to say, because that's kind of what you said to me. So yeah, perfect. And I totally agree, because I come from a perfectionist place too, and having to have everything right. But I also have this kind of like, well, ignorance on fire part of me. So sometimes it's really good just being ignorance on fire, because you do learn as you go, right? You know, and that's what you have your upline for. You have your upline to ask, oh, okay, is this right? What do I do here? Step by step, right? Take it one step at a time.
And I'm really aware that perfectionism is actually procrastination and fear. That's all perfectionism is. So you can't act until everything is X, Y, and Z. It's bullshit, and it's procrastination.
It is. And so, procrastination is fear.
Work in progress. I am a work in progress.
You can't run, I'm still learning to stand. That's so true, Tammy. Your brand of, and that's the thing, and that's the key. I think we need to remember that. You know, and I know that Adam talked a lot about this in NMD school. I know this is your time, Maxine, but I just want to add this. He talked about this a lot at NMD school, and he talked about that, you know, up to SC, up to kind of, you know, SDVF or SP now, we've got to get the lingo right. SP, you're still beginners. You're still learning. You're still learning how to build team. You actually are still learning how to be a leader. And then, you know, from even the SC levels, and they even talk about cumulative SCs, how they are still learning to be a leader too. So it's really not until you start getting into the QSSCs, the SSC levels, before you actually start really being able to fine-tune that leadership. So, you know, for me, I'm still learning to fine-tune everything. I'm not like, you know, where Kat is. So, you know, every level that you get to is still a learning phase for different forms of leadership. And one of the things that I know I've heard one of the NMDs say, which is totally true, you cannot get to every level that you get to, you have to change yourself. You have to be a different person. So what got you to SDVF or SP is not going to get you to SC. And what got you to SC is not going to get you to QSSC. So you've got to change along the way. It's like a metamorphosis, a journey along the way. And every level you've got to kind of go within, you've got to change a bit, and then you've got to go. So, yeah. Okay, so does anyone have any more questions for Maxine? Is there anything else you want to share before you go, Max, before we bring Tammy on?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Just get really clear, and then and build everything around that.
Brilliant. And watch this space as this lady grows. like Gail, their business is going to go boom.
I can stop procrastinating and being a perfectionist.
I love that you own that. It's great. It's fantastic. Thank you for sharing, honey. So, and well done. You so bloody deserve, you know, you really did. You just, worked so hard. You've got a really strong business, so you just keep building on that. Consolidation for you this year, eh? Yeah, okay. Now we're going to move on over to Tammy. And Tammy is our customer attractor of the year with, God, 26 plus. You go, girlfriend.
26?
Yeah, something like that.
Huh?
Oh, so you're
I don't even know.
qualifying.
Well, we're
You're
including
self-qualifying.
your team as well as your team, Tammy. You've given a lot of your customers to your team as well. So we're counting all these.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I forget that.
Yeah,
I look at my numbers, I'm like, 20 what? Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
did.
kind of the same because I put a lot under Pete as well. So I've got, but it's really good because what's happened from that, guys, is, when we look at Maxine and Tammy, Maxine having the team and Tammy having the customers, they are both qualifying their businesses easy every single month. And that is because they've got lots of DVFs and BFs, so they've got lots of partners and partner pluses, or they've got lots of customers. So, and the really ideal is to have both. So if you've got both, you're going to qualify your business really well every month without even thinking about it, right? You can just close your eyes now, Tammy, right, and not even worry about it. So
yeah. Actually, I opened my VO at the beginning of the month and I got a fright because it was already like, I don't even have to worry.
yeah,
Good.
that's right. But one thing I do want to say though for you is you had to build that a lot of months, didn't you? How many months was it on the phone to you going, okay, Tammy, you need this many on the last 2 days of the month, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm on it, and this is like for what, 4 or 5 months that you had to get like that. So
there was many months in the middle that were just dead months, no customers joining and stuff, and then just towards the end of the year I think I just gained some momentum, but that was through the self-growth.
So do you want to share, Tammy, how it is that you get customers? Because I know there is a lot of team on here that really find that challenging as much as they find getting team challenging. Do you want to share what you do?
Yeah. First, I'm just going to apologise for all the snorting in the background. There's 3 dogs here and they're all snoring, so it's not me. Okay, so what do I do? I think for starters, I be the proof. So I took the products and I gave them to my family, and we just logged everything that was happening. And especially with my daughter, I was, I guess, fortunate in a way that I had a very sick daughter when I started. So her recovery has been really massive proof. And I think the other thing was that I already had a little following of people that would watch my Facebook. I had a little Facebook group that was about healthy stuff anyway. And so I've always been really passionate about sharing any tips or anything that I could that might help somebody. So I guess what that comes back to is stepping back out, is that what I'm doing is that in general life all the time, I'm always caring for people. I'm always putting information out there because I give a damn anyway. Even before the product came along, I'm the kind of person who has always volunteered myself to offer some support or an idea. I'm not shy if I've got a good thing that I'm using at home, and it's a good, I mean, it might be baking soda, for instance, and I see someone with maybe a bladder infection or something. I'm just going to tell them, you need, I really think you should try this. I try not to say should. Language is everything. So yeah, I'm really working on my delivery, but I'm really keen to help people, and it's coming from my heart. And so I think the key thing is that you've got to just genuinely care about people and their health from your heart, and actually give a damn and show some interest. So if anyone sort of was having a bad day or something online, or mentioned something that they were messaging them and just saying, are you okay? I care, can I offer any support? Is there anything you need? Or but I think, so the other thing really that's important is making friends. And I just go out of my way to add as many people into my life as I can. I do several activities so that I can meet people. If I meet anybody anywhere, I'm quite bolshy and brave, and I'll just say, let's just add each other on Facebook now. Or are you on Facebook? Cheesy as, but are you? Before I might be walking away from someone and I'm like, hey, find me.
That's exactly what Adam does, honey. That's what Adam does. You're doing what Adam does, and look how successful he is. So it works. It's good being bolshy.
Yeah, just don't be shy. Facebook's there for people. It's all about making friends, and people these days don't mind if they've met you once or twice. They'll still friend you. If you had a great conversation, they'll friend you. You know, I might meet someone at the lights and have a chat, and I'll just be like, oh, you're awesome. You're on Facebook? Why not? You know? So yeah, I've just got a few notes. Be the proof, be really sincere proof. So, you know, take your products and don't be fake about it. So, you know, just really sincerely say what you're getting from it. And really it's about sincere connections. So, you know, when we're talking to people, we're just being really honest about everything. Any little changes and things. And I think the other really important thing is really believing that we're 100% that we've actually got an amazing gift. You know, we're not actually selling them something. We're offering them a life-changing ticket, you know, golden ticket. So when I offer things to people, I'm not doing like, buy my stuff. I'm like, this is amazing, you know. I've got something really cool I'd love to share with you. So yeah, and so I think just being really proud of it. I'm super proud of what we do, and I'm not ashamed of MLM marketing or anything, but it's because of this business and this company that it's raised me up to that level where I'm actually super proud of what I do, and I'm super proud of our products and the people in it. So I think that really helps. And that's kind of come through seeing what an awesome company it is, and seeing how much it's helped people, and seeing the proof in my customers and seeing them get well has just, and so that only comes with time as well. You can't rush these things. So over the past 15 months, I've got to the point where I'm just like absolutely convinced this is awesome and anyone's probably going to get something from it. I think that really helps. Yeah. The other, really listening. Now I'll just talk, but I need to get involved in them and not just worry about trying to tell them about it, but also just following up with customers. So one thing that's got me a lot of customers has been going back through my messenger and looking back through as far as I can be bothered with my time or whatever, and just checking that there's no messages that have come through that I have been too busy and skipped past and not got back to, or we've talked about it and then left it for a couple of months or something. Go back through and look for those little opportunities, I guess. Yeah. I've had a lot of people sort of bounce back out of them as well. Always offer to sponsor a child. So always encourage people to get onto the, the family health study. That's a really biggie, and just help them. So even if they don't have kids, recommend that they sponsor somebody else that they love. And then they just see how much the company cares as well. They really see that we're not just trying to take their money, we're trying to give them things. That's really important. Yeah. Talk to everyone. You never know. But be tactful and polite, and they'll sort of respect that as well. So, yeah. What else have I got? Make sure you follow up old messages. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, that's kind of me so far. And also, who we were talking before with Gail, and she's like really systematic and she's really good at her DMO and all that. And I'm just going to say and put it out there that we're not all the same. I'm really bad. I don't have any notes. I haven't kept track of anyone, and that's how come I don't really know how I keep it together, and sometimes I don't really. So my thing this year is I'm getting on Teamsy because I need to organize my shit basically, and so also being honest.
It's going to organize your life, and you will no longer have organized chaos, Tammy. It'll be amazing for you.
Everything's here, and it's not very helpful.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm really pleased that you own that, honey. I do want to ask one question, though. So you said earlier about how, you've always, helped people with your health. And Amy, you've helped me too, by the way, with my bladder infections. I no longer get them, thanks to you. And I've also passed it on to friends of mine too, who were the same. So, yeah, thank you for your advice. But for most of us who don't have that kind of nutritional knowledge that you have, and I would probably say that most of us on here are like that, you know, do we need to know all that, or how can we do it without having all that knowledge?
No, you don't need to know any of it, and you don't need to be their go-to health person at all. You just need to listen and care more than anything. Most people really just want to be listened to. They don't actually like being told what to do. I find that bit really hard. Like I said, I have to be careful with my wording because no one likes to be told what they should do. So I think, you know, the important thing really is just actually to listen and to care. They come to me because they know that I care. I think that's it.
Great. And I think that's been a big journey for you too, hasn't it, Tammy? You know, around since you've stepped into this business too, is that like really learning to listen, because I know that when you first started it was really about those sales, whereas you've really kind of come a long way in terms of really listening to each person and what it is that their needs are first. So I just want to commend you on that, because that's been massive for you.
Yeah, it's just really, really important to get out of yourself. Get outside of yourself and just focus on what you can do for others, I guess, you know. And even if it is just listening, most people just want someone to hear them, and that gains the trust, the friendship.
Awesome. Has anybody got any questions for Tammy? Oh, do you get price objections, and how do you deal with them, Tammy? Maxine's asked.
Do I get price objections? Yes, I do. I get people all the time saying it's too expensive, and I just tell them that I felt the same. Hang on, I'm in the chat. I'll just get back out. There we go. I always break it down to weekly for them and say, look, I felt the same, and then I broke it down to a weekly amount and realised that actually, the other thing that I explain to people is how much fresh vegetables I was throwing out each week, and most people relate to that. They relate to trying to cook for a family, shopping at the beginning of the week, and then getting to the end of the week and realizing that no one quite had the time to cook it all, and now it's kind of going in the bin. And so actually a lot of people realized that they were spending more money before on wasted food, I think, and food that wasn't really nutritious because it was old. And so I just talked to them about the whole cycle of the food and the shopping and everything, and how much are they already spending on food that they're not really using, or that's not really good for them, or what could they possibly do without. And usually once I break it down and say, you know, you can get onto the juice, the fruit and veg for $25, and you're getting your kid on as well, and I say that's $12.50 each a week, you know. That's like super cheap actually. And if they're still not sure, especially when the first month payment has to go out, I suggest to them that they start putting that $25 away now a week into a separate account to have the payment go out of. So we will book to do an order in a month when they've got their money together. And that really helps people get their head around it too. And usually once I suggest that to them, then they realise how silly they're being about everything, and then they just go ahead and do the first order anyway. Because their excuse is kind of squashed. It just doesn't seem, it just seems silly when you break it down to such small figures and you point out to them, you know.
It's even cheaper now too.
Yeah, and it is. It's even cheaper now. So when I told a friend today what the fruit and veg was, she's like, oh wow, actually that's really good. Yeah, I've got someone else who contacted me.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, like at our event on Saturday, Tammy, Roy's friend, Christina, who was there, and when I added everything up, because now we're, you know, giving her the full package for the shakes and the capsules and the omegas, and I said, actually, it's only $2.69, and she said, oh, that's really cheap. She was spending like $400 a month just on Thrive products and not getting anything out of it. So, you know, and that's the other thing you've got to compare it to. What are they already doing? What supplements? For me, I was spending hundreds on supplements. And, you know, for me,
exactly.
It was cheaper to do capsules than it was to do what I was already doing. And that wasn't working anyway. So what are they currently doing that they actually don't need to do anymore? Because, you know,
exactly.
As we know, bringing in our health regime is going to support their health probably 95% of the time more than what they're already doing. So, yeah.
Awesome. And most of them are struggling to get anything into their kids. Most parents are really worried about how much fruit and veg their kids are getting. So I just take it sort of down that angle as well. And also talking to my friends about talking to their friends is really important. You know, the people that are having really good effects, they're actually telling their friends about it now. So I'm getting a ripple-on effect of, the information's getting spread, which is good. And I've asked those friends if they want to join and be my partners, and they're not ready yet, so they're happy to just refer people anyway. Yeah, but it's because they're seeing good effects, and I'm keeping in touch. So the other thing is keep up with your customers and keep in touch with them. And it feels scary sometimes, and it feels invasive to ask them how they're doing, but actually it means that we care, and it's really important.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tammy. No one else has got any questions before we go?
How often do you check in with your customers, Tammy?
Depends how close they are to me, I guess. You know, if they're a friend, I'll be checking in probably every couple of weeks or something. But if they're a little bit distant or whatever, maybe just once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't keep track of things, it's kind of like I just think, oh, it's been a while, and I check my messages and I'm like, okay, it's time to say hi. Yeah, I mean, if they've just started the product, I'll be in touch with them within a week. You know, I will always, and then their same customer, if they're new, I'll be in touch a couple of weeks later as well, within the month, and just make sure that everything's going okay for them. Make sure that they know about the detox and that they're feeling okay, and drinking water. You got to check on them. Yeah, otherwise they backfire and they'll dehydrate themselves and they'll feel sick and then they'll come back complaining. So yeah,
you definitely need Teamsy, honey.
Yeah.
Keep you on your follow-ups. Definitely. All good. Oh, thank you.
It's going to be really interesting. I was just thinking about it before. It's going to be interesting to look back, another year from now, because there's so much growth that happens in a year. It's just massive. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome. I know it's really late now, guys. So,
guys, thanks for listening.
Yeah, it was great.
And I just want to say, definitely wouldn't be here without you all. That's all I can say. It's a team thing, you know. I love being part of everyone, and this is different and unique from any other kind of business like this that I've tried out, because there just wasn't the team, and makes a huge difference. So thank you all for being here. Yeah.